I'd like to look after wildlife, but I'm not putting fat balls out for the birds. I think a bloke from the RSPB made that up just so he could hear people say fat balls on the telly. And anyway, if I'm making snacks, they'll be for me. So it seems to me that dating and wildlife are both basically eating followed by shagging. The main difference being whether or not Bill Oddie is watching. Penguins mate for life but spend most of their lives apart. This seems to be the secret, that and separate bathrooms. Wild turtles just have sex, then go their separate ways. You can do that when you've both got your own house. I love dating shows on TV. I still miss Blind Date. Do you miss Blind Date? Yeah. Especially the pensioner specials. They were really sweet though, weren't they? With their videos of old people holding hands and sharing humbugs. I'm 93 and I'm not looking for anything long term. If dating is hard, breaking up is even harder. When I split up with a boyfriend once, we went for a meal to Frankie and Benny's. I was so upset, and I'm not saying this to garner pity. All I could do was cry and vomit. I kept running into the loo to vomit and then sitting back down to cry and then run into the loo. I felt like a supermodel. It was like a weight had been lifted off his shoulders. I was like this and he was like this. His main course came with broccoli. And you know, sometimes a conversation sums up your entire relationship. 7 years together. I said, "You don't like broccoli?" And he said, "Yes, I do." You just never got me in. Like I had the magic bloody keys to Asda. Whether I've needed it or not, there's always been someone in my life all too keen to dish out relationship advice. But to be fair to him, he's been married for 47 years. He's not here, but we can talk to him now thanks to the magic of the internet. Please welcome my dad, Philip. Hello, Dad. Say hello to the audience.
Hello, audience.
Oh, they're all waving at you, bless you. You've been married to my mum for 47 years.
Yes.
Sound happier. So tell me about how you met my mum.
Seemingly, this is what she told me, that when she first saw us, I had a sticky plaster just above my nose on my forehead, and she thought I'd been in a fight. And then I had a nice bump.
Oh, too much information, but anyway. So had you actually been in a fight?
I hadn't been in a fight. It was a sticky plaster covering a huge burst zit.
Oh, what a lovely story. So, tell me, have you got any advice for people like me who might be courting or dating? What kind of advice do you think you could give?
You should endlessly talk. Something that I don't think couples do nowadays.
I think you might be right.
You learn everything about them.
Now, tell
you
me,
learn the likes and the dislikes.
Is this the kind of conversation you had with me mum? Because I bet you didn't get a word in. So what kind of things did you talk about?
What you expected out of life.
What did you tell me what you expected out of life?
That I would have all mod cons.
All mod cons.
Televisions, washing machines, dishwashers, you name it, we've got it.
Right.
Also, we'd have children.
Oh, I was wondering where I was going to come in, Not necessarily after the washing machine, but...
And I was prepared to work my tits off to get it.
I think we could all take a little bit away from that, can't we? Thank you very much, everyone. My dad. People are a lot more blunt about sex these days. I went out with a bloke who said, "What do you do?" And I thought he meant for a job. Nope. He just listed things and I went, no. Depends on my mood. Not with a crunchy. I found out the difference between sleeping with a man in his 20s and sleeping with a man in his 30s. Generally speaking, sleeping with a man in his 30s, it's much better, but you've usually got to rub his legs afterwards for cramp. What I need now is a TV expert on sex and dating. I'm so bad at flirting, people ask me if I'm all right. And then look for me EpiPen. So please welcome the sex inspector, Tracey Cox. Hello.
Hi.
Thank you very much for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Now, with a surname like yours, you were bound to end up in this field, weren't you?
Absolutely, and everyone always says to me, you know, did you make it up? It's like, I think I would have been a little bit more original than
really?
Tracey Cox, yes.
You could have had a middle name of Sucks or something like that. Do you have to work your way up to be a sex inspector? Do you start at the bottom?
It's actually, often people say to me, like, you're called a sexpert, and, you know, what does that mean? And it just does sound like I sort of lie around with Calvin Klein models or something practicing, but actually it comes from a psychology degree specialising in sex therapy, so it's all above board.
What do you think of speed dating?
I think speed dating's brilliant because you can get through a lot of people in a short period of time, so to speak.
Do you think it's rude to carry on a conversation during sex?
Depends on the conversation. I think we should talk more during sex.
Is texting all right?
Texting, no. But talking, yes. I think
even if it's on silent?
I suppose it depends on what position you're in. If they can't see you, you probably get away with it.
You can sometimes have a book on the go. Is there a way that you can tell if you're any good at sex?
If you're into sex, it sort of shows, and you're much less inhibited in bed. So I think you can tell, like, if you're out with somebody and you're trying to work out who'd be the best lay, I think the best way is to look at, you know, whether they really eat their food with gusto, whether they're very enthusiastic, whether they laugh a lot, whether they drink a lot.
I like the eating the food thing, because you could just imagine you're on the plate, couldn't you?
But if you've got an appetite for life, you're just generally good in bed, you know.
Got an appetite. Do you think men are intimidated by you?
Yeah, I am bossy. I remember going out with one guy and saying, look, can you read chapter 2, 3 and 4 of that book and then get back to me? And he was a bit like, whoa.
That is brilliant! I've just bookmarked it for you. I've turned the page over that I'd like you to concentrate on.
I did that. I'm the only person that actually comes with an instruction manual.
So it must be quite easy to please you in that they just
That's
have to do
what
a bit of reading first, don't they?
Exactly.
It's not that much work involved.
It's only 14 books.
14 books. And then they can have a go on you. That's a lot of reading. You must be pretty unembarrassable. Does anything embarrass you at all?
No, not really. I think I've heard it all by now. I was actually in LA quite recently at a sex fair, and I was on my stand, so I've got a range of sex toys.
You've got it. Hold on. Sex fair, and you had a stand. Is it like a bit WI but with vibrators?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. And
so I had my products there, and I was looking over at this stand over here, and it was all these male chastity belts.
Were they metal?
Well, some were metal, some were wood. Oh, very odd.
Wood? You'd have to get the pledge out. So you deal with body language as well. What's my body language saying right now? Because I'm nervous and I need a little bit of a wee, but I don't know if does that come across?
No, you look very relaxed. The thing about body language is you only really notice it if somebody's doing something that's out of kilter. If I'm being interviewed and the guy or girl interviewing me is nervous, they'll often do what's called leaking, where they're a little...
I need a little bit of a wee, but I'm not going to go that far.
Your body leaks nervous energy, so you can look quite composed there, and then you'll see them jigging their leg underneath the table and stuff like that.
If you're not sure about flirting, is it okay to go straight to licking? Flirting's not really my strong point. So I've got a little bit of a cocktail party set up over there.
Okay.
Let's go across and see if you can teach me some tricks. Is that okay?
Of course.
Let's do it. Excellent. So where do we start?
Okay, well, I think you should... Obviously, what you do is you match your flirting to the type of guy that you're going to be flirting with. So it's different flirting for different guys. So let's start with that gentleman, maybe the silver fox guy. So he's sort of been around the block, so he's probably attuned to picking up signals. So you can be sexy and sophisticated with him.
Okay, I'm going in. Hi.
So what I'd like you to do is do what's called a neck display. Pull your top down a little bit off the shoulder because it gives him a hint of what you could look like naked. And then you sort of like pretend to massage your neck a bit. This sort of makes your breasts look perky. Oh. And it also wafts pheromones in his direction.
The instructions, but that one didn't really work. So is there another type?
Okay, maybe volume control. Turn it down a bit. Maybe.
Oh, I barely said a word.
Okay, let's try somebody who looks a little bit shyer, maybe. Okay, so this guy's on his own. Looks a bit shy. Now, with shy guys, you want to not scare them off. So again, you've got to keep it very subtle and subliminal.
Hi.
Now, when we meet people that we're attracted to, our eyebrows flash up and down. We do it instinctively. Invade his space a little bit because it's sort of like the conversation opener. Okay. So sort of adjust your clothing, maybe smooth them down around your hips. Because that sort of says, I want to look attractive for you.
That worked.
Maybe.
I did the eyebrows.
The eyebrows were good. Maybe tone that down, but yeah, the preening probably smooth down rather than pull up. Maybe not.
Good tip. Thank you. Is it true? You can probably tell me this. Is it? I read, it might have even been in one of your books, that if you men like sort of red lips or lick lips because it looks a bit like a vagina.
That's absolutely true, and it wasn't. Yes. It wasn't
yours in your book?
Yes,
especially if you've got a bit of a tash.
Okay, now let's see. What about, well, let's just go for a really basic bloke type. So what about that muscly guy over there?
Okay. Hi. Clear off, bitch. Not very good on a stool.
Cross and uncross your legs slowly.
Sharon Stone, more Kenny Everett, isn't it?
Draw attention to your mouth, lick your lips, maybe touch your mouth. Talk to him, but pitch your voice low so it's nice and husky. You all right, mate?
A really nice boyfriend at home, and I got him by just being myself, so I think I might just stick with that. Thank you very much. Please give a round of applause to Tracey Cox. But if my relationship does go tits up, I've got Tracey's number. That's it for tonight. I didn't have time to talk about shows like When Sharks Attack, which would be great if they gave you an actual timetable. They tried Where Sharks Attack, but it's basically the sea. And we haven't had time to touch on Snog, Marry, Avoid, or as I like to call it, Top Gear. Good night.
And Sarah Millican's television programme continues next Thursday night in the later time of 11:20. That's here on BBC Two Wales. And if you're in the mood for more funny stuff now, switch over to BBC Three as Russell Howard shares more good news.